I'm Nick.
I'm Lula.
I'm Parker, and we're on
Behind the Amp. I'm Sam.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're live from the Alderman with Runner and Bobby. So let's just get into it.
Okay, so we of course know that you guys are Chicago-based, so I guess we just want to fill everyone else in on how you guys created Runner and Bobby.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, it started as a personal project after high school. It was kind of idle for a little bit, and then I joined a cover band that Mick and Lula were in. That was a lot of fun. That kind of reintroduced me to playing live, and then I was kind of like, "You guys are really cool. Can I steal you for this other thing?" And they were into it, and now we all write together, create together, record together, and it's really fun.
So you guys were already playing music before?
Yeah, we all met in college. We were originally in a cover band that needed a guitar player, and we were lucky enough to find Parker at a time when he also needed a bassist and drummer. So we met in college, but Runner Bobby is slightly older.
Awesome. As you guys have kind of gone through the music making journey together, have you had an I made it moment yet?
Let me see. Selling out Shubas was cool.
Yeah.
That was not like, okay, like pretty sweet. I think one of my friends heard it in a coffee shop, like heard Green off the new album in a coffee shop in Nashville, and I was like, oh, cool, like that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I know we were at the Shuba show and we loved it.
Where?
It was awesome.
It was very
great.
fun.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go
As
ahead.
far as an I made it moment, I would agree with Shuba's. I remember being in the car like 2 hours before sound check and seeing that the ticket count was really low and really hoping that we were going to sell it out. And then it turned into, we sold it out, but also like a lot of our friends couldn't get tickets to get in. Like they were at the door trying to get in.
Yeah.
And that was kind of awesome.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Like, sorry you guys missed out, but we're lucky it's sold
Well,
out.
there were people who waited till the last minute couldn't get in, and it was like, it was sad, of course, but it was exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You have a moment?
Man, I don't know. I think it's funny because I don't think like we're serious if we're serious about the music, but I try to take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah.
Not let it get to your head.
Yeah.
I don't think it could ever. But I don't think I don't let it get to my head. If anything, sometimes I'm like, whatever. We're just trying to have fun and hang out and put a good show on for people.
Yeah.
But an I made it moment. Maybe we went on tour with Nature TV last fall, and everybody we're taking it serious as a band. It feels kind of cool when you're talking to a real agent and they're like, hey, let's take you on the road, and you're on the road with this band from London. It was pretty cool. So maybe that was an I made it moment for me.
That's awesome.
You know what? Actually, we had an itinerary, or someone had an itinerary for one of the shows, and I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah. Or when a green room, and when you're in a green room and the venue feeds you food.
Oh my god, I want to shower.
Yeah. That's the answer.
Our bar is so low.
Yeah.
I felt like I made it when we were in a Times Square hotel room and we were packed like sardines into this little bed.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
But I feel like those are also the best moments, and the moments that you kind of will take with you forever, because you wouldn't be there if you didn't start this journey. And I kind of think those are the beautiful moments of it all.
Totally.
Yeah.
Alright, well, speaking of your guys' shows at Shuba's, we were there. We know you guys performed at Baseline too. To see venues like that, and then to go to a huge venue like Park West, which we also were at that one. How do you guys feel? I mean, you kind of answered this one, but how do you guys feel that shift? Do you feel like it changed your audience at all, or do you think that from then to now, you're shifting anything with your music to focus on a larger crowd?
I would say that our genre has definitely shifted a little bit. I think that we are getting a little more into the grunge rock sound, maybe a little farther from the surfy indie side of things. But I think we like to tailor our music to a live performance, and so being able to perform to more people has been really cool. With a place like Park West, for me, I feel like sometimes the larger shows can be a little less scary in some ways, just because it's less intimate, for good or bad. If the stage is big, you can't really see the audience.
I was
It's
going
kind
to
of
say,
like
that's probably what it
ambiguous.
is.
But it's been fun to play to more people and be with bands like Holly that have a slightly different sound, but also like pull a very similar crowd.
Yeah, I think playing college together, like we play these like dingy shows. I mean,
I can imagine.
Like these like dilapidated buildings and like it's just gross and you're like on the floor there else and like somebody's like punching my drum set and like somebody's like throwing cans at Parker. Like, it's like just like like that kind of environment. I think we tried to bring in a lot more into like the last album of music of like we want to like really sculpt like a fun show for people to be at, and like I think we kind of wanted to bring that energy in. And I think as we're writing more now, I feel like that is seeping into the music more rather than like going at it as like we're gonna build these songs for like studio only. It is very much like Lula said, like building it for a live show and like trying to build like a fun environment for people at shows.
That's well said.
Nice.
It really does come through, like in your shows, especially when we're in the audience. Like I know we enjoy every single set that we've been to, and we always can't wait to see when you guys are coming up next. Thank you. We saw you guys were looking pretty spiffy at Park West, and we saw that you guys kind of got a stylist for the show. Was that a one-time glow up, or are we thinking more stylists in the future?
You got this. This is all you.
Code Ranger's awesome. Shout out the two brothers that have a store front in like Avondale, Logan Square area. Kind of like they have a spot over there. They're like so cool. They do a lot of like upcycling and like we were in the store and they were like letting us like shop around and they were telling us all the different pieces that they make. Like really, really incredible stuff. A really great band called Hotel with two L's. I saw they were styled by Code Ranger and I was like, I'll tell them where one of those jackets. I reached out and they were like, yeah, like, let's do it. So maybe it's a one-time thing. You know, if any brands want to hook us up, but Ula, I think does a really good job of like giving us a lot of direction on like a look of the band. I think like Ula does a really good job of like stylizing us and like having like a concept about like what we want to look like on stage. So
yeah, it's one thing to portray yourself like sonically to the audience, but like to like do it via clothes. That's something that I was like really late on. Like all my eggs were in the Sonic basket, and then these two came along. They're like, hey, like maybe don't wear like red and yellow. Like this is at McDonald's. And I'm like, I know. But yeah, it's like portraying ourselves to the audience. And, like we're one unit. We all play together. Like this is the sound we have. So it's been really cool, and it's been fun. Like the jacket I wore, I bought because I really.
It was awesome.
It was really cool.
We were looking at them on Instagram. We were like, that really looks good.
You guys kind of like, I don't know, you guys kind of give the effortless style, like as though you're always dressing like that. It's a compliment, but you know.
that's what we're going for.
Yeah. Love that. Okay, well then talking about, you know, your music more specifically, we guys know that you dropped your new album, Adoring a Friend. Were there any songs on there that started maybe as like a fail or something that, you know, you didn't want to put in the album that ended up being a favorite or anything?
It wasn't a fail. Green took a long time to really kind of flesh out. That was one that we started back in like January of last year, and then we kept like mulling over it, trying to get the lyrics right, the words or the melody, and then that one's really cool. That one ended up really well.
I would say that A for Always is one of my favorite songs on the album, and it's one that started completely differently. It was super fast. It was really grunge, and now it's this like softer sort of lovey ballad, and I love how it came out, but it's so different from how it started. And that was just like one practice where we were like, what if we played it like this? And then we were like, oh, that's how it goes. There it is. And then I also suggested adding saxophone on Cot.
Super good. We loved it.
You love it?
Doing the best on the album, what can I say? And that's our friend Claire Anderson, who was also in the cover band with us and moved to Chicago. So it's so exciting to still play with her. But I think that added such an interesting component to that song and to the whole album. Like to have to be in a band but be able to add saxophone is like, that's an I made it moment. Like, oh, we can add a saxophone to
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, you still want to answer. I was going to say Lula did a really good job with like bringing in COD as like a fully developed thing. I feel like the conversations that we had earlier on Parker was like the reprise you hear on the album was more in line with I think the original thought of the song.
Totally.
And then like it is so cool that I think that song came to be what it is. Because even now I listen to it, I'm like, it's crazy that we shifted so much.
It is really fun writing with Mick and Lula because I'll have an idea and I'm like set in stone, like, oh yeah, this is this, and then Mick will be like, what if you did a melody over that? Or like, or Lula's like, what if you had a saxophone? It's like, I didn't even think of that. And then the song opens up like this whole other room and it just becomes something else. It's really cool.
That's awesome. I guess you guys basically answered this question, but were there any songs on the album that, you know, were like kind of like a new sound or a new idea that you guys didn't expect to go in that direction?
I would say a lot of them are pretty new. I'd say like Sworn, Fate You Choose are a lot harder than our previous stuff. Definitely different.
Yeah, I like those songs a lot personally. I think like when you have a song, for me when I write, if you have a song that kind of like it changes the air, like once you start playing it, it's like on a track and it's like on a line. I don't know how else to describe it, but for those two, I like those ones a lot. Just have a vibe to them.
Yeah, I feel like when we were writing the new stuff, we were kind of worried just like we're like playing soccer, we're like opening up a soccer every single show, and we were like, oh man, like this stuff isn't as beachy as the old stuff, and that maybe not as like, you know, fun is maybe is a good word to use. We were a little scared. I was a little worried about maybe people listening to it being like, oh, well, they're washed, like runner bobbies isn't good anymore. But no, I think I'm really happy with the direction that we're going in. It seems like there's been some good response to some of the songs, so I'm liking it.
Love that. Do you guys like each have your own favorite song on the album that you would recommend to like a new listener?
Oh yeah. Can I go?
What?
Yeah. Oh, mine's yeah. I'm gonna start talking. Mine's Fate You Choose. I think that like I feel like that was a song that like we worked on. I was like, man, this is really different, and I think it has like a really good like structure to it. You know, I feel like each part I feel like comes in at a really cool spot. I do the same drum beat the entire time, so I think that's why I like it. It was really easy to record in the
Simple.
studio. Yeah. I just kept doing the same thing the entire time.
Yeah.
So I like that one.
I like Colors. It's the first one we released. I just think it's super catchy, and we weren't going to release it as a single, and then we got one of the mixes back, and we were like, this one's really good. Like, we should release it.
This is the one.
I just think it's so catchy. I think Parker did a really good job on the lyrics, making them very like relatable, kind of like on the nose, like not silly, but sort of like obvious, which is something I really appreciate in a lot of the songwriters that I listen to. And it's a fun one to play too.
Yeah, that was the last one that we did for the album, I think. It was like, the idea started at a house show we played in Madison. Right? And then I like started it during sound check and then we developed it. But yeah, that is a good one. That's a good one. I like Fate You Choose Live is my favorite to play. Just like has a presence to it, and then A for Always means a lot to me.
Awesome. A lot of the fans love the 80s feel on Fall for Her and Nobody Else. Is that something you guys try to carry on through your music, or there tracks that are totally different that you guys are kind of playing with?
For me, I don't want to speak for Mick and Lula. For me, not so much. It's not something I try to like push away, but you kind of just have to shoot from the hip, I think, in terms of songwriting. Like if you're, you know, like I've been writing a little heavier recently, personally, or like if you're really into this one distortion sound, like you kind of have to follow that. Like you're getting that for a reason. Like go with it. It's honest. So 80s stuff will come back up. I'm a big fan of like The Cult. I feel like some of my guitar tones are similar. It's buried in there, but maybe not as obvious as Fall for Her was.
I think some of the main sounds that came out of the 80s were very electronic, and I think that's what you hear with Fall for Her, is that it was something Parker made by himself, pretty much, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was collaboration back in the day, but very gridded. It was very rigid. It was copy paste.
That,
So
like-
the stuff we're doing now is more live.
Yeah, that repeated beat back and forth. So I think we have lost a little bit of that like synth sound, but I think we've replaced it with keys, saxophone, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's electronic drums on there, so that's why they sound so good. Unfortunately, the listeners are stuck with me from now on, so it's gonna be a little loose. It's gonna be a little loosey. Yeah, maybe more '90s now because it's live. Yeah, that's what we're gonna say.
I didn't know that.
No, I think like we're not trying to ever shoot for like a particular kind of sound. You know, it's like obviously it's so hard to make something like truly original. You know, we pull inspiration from everything, but yeah, I don't think we're ever like make an '80s song. I don't think that ever happens too much. I think we're just playing things as they come. Who knows? Maybe
It's more like let's make a song that sounds like Patsy Cline in a dentist's office.
yeah,
Yeah.
In the best way.
There you
Perfect. Okay, so then I guess we'll talk about how you guys started versus, where you are now. So your very first album, Eris, came out in 2019. So how do you guys think that your like sound and overall vibe as a band shifted from
Feel much more mature, I
Yeah.
think. The music we make now is so much more mature than that. I think that era was fun, but I feel like a better songwriter now. I think doing it, collaborating with really talented people elevates it even more. I can only get so high as like a single person, but they think of stuff that I would have never even considered, and it takes a song to such a cool place. So.
Yeah, I think it's gotten a little more dynamic in some ways. I think the beauty of the earlier stuff is that it is very similar and it follows this like very indie sound. Like that is music pretty much anyone can listen to and be like, oh, it's good. Like I like it. And I think now we've divulged a little into like live instrumentation and like adding different like there's solos in this stuff. It's a little different. Tones are super different. But the first I just think that things have gotten a little more complex with our new stuff, and the first stuff that Nick and I are on is the Runner and Bobby self-titled EP, which was 2024, so it's pretty new.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, no, yeah. I personally love the old Runner and Bobby stuff.
Yeah.
Before I joined the band, I don't think I ever told you this actually, Parker. Stellar was on my like Spotify Wrapped.
Really?
And then I started like playing with you, and I was like, yeah, there was this one time where I went on the airplane and none of my songs saved besides like 10, and Stellar was one of them. And I was like, I guess we're listening to Stellar. I think I texted you after that. I was like, I just listened to Parker's song like 25 times on the airplane. I love the old stuff. I think the new stuff's great. I think that these are like two of the most talented musicians I've ever worked with, and it's just been like, it's just great seeing them use their brains, and I get to tap along, and I think the new stuff is like there's a lot of depth in it with like all of our like inspiration, and I just think it's like I'm proud of it because it feels like a body of work that like actually comes from us. I guess that's pretty obvious, but like it is weird when you're in a band and you're making music. It is cool because it's like, oh, I'm with these two people and like we made this thing, and it's like really fun. Yeah.
Well said.
Well, then I guess so. You were doing this alone for like 5 years before them.
Sort of. It was like
Casual.
high school band broke up, and I was doing all sorts of crazy genres. I think this thing I like about what we're doing now is like it's so focused and honest. It's just we've hit a really cool stride in the music we're making, where it's like, yeah, we could do a softer song, we could do a heavier one, but it's all in the world that we've been able to create.
A good full circle moment.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, cool.
So we know you guys have a co-headline tour coming up in April. How are you guys feeling about it? Is there anything that fans can expect from those shows?
I would say that for the fans who have seen us in Columbus, these ones will be a little different. I'm excited to play Columbus. I'm from Columbus, so it's always fun to play there. That's where we went to school. I think that people who have seen us in the past will be a little surprised by our new sound in a good way. So that's kind of fun. And then we're playing some new cities as well. And Grand Rapids and
Chicago.
Chicago. Oh, yeah. So super excited to get up to Michigan too.
I've been wanting to play Grand Rapids. I've been wanting to play like all around Michigan. For
Yeah.
whatever reason. It's just like Midwest
Just see.
is the best.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we're bringing a lot of the new songs off the new album, and people that haven't seen us, and I guess on our last tour run, we play with this incredible musician, Alex Johnson. He's a part of the band, and he's like, call him the talent because he's got the sauce. He plays guitar and keys, and he just absolutely rips. He's like every person that we like meet in the music world, like I feel like knows Alex or because they're like, oh yeah, like I jammed with Alex at this thing 2 years ago, or like, oh yeah, like my buddy went to school with Alex. It's like everybody knows him because he's just like super nice dude and like incredible player. So if people haven't seen us in the past year, I'm always like excited for them to see our shows. It's like
We got Alex.
we got the talent with us.
We got the talent with us. Alex is so good. He's such a professional. Like he's endured a lot on the road with us. It's not always pretty, but like always positive guy. Like knows the songs, treats them with a lot of care. Wicked musician. You can't have him. We're taking him.
He's there. So. And then you guys did kind of answer this, but are there any moments that you're especially looking forward to, or any surprises that you guys have in store? Not to give too much away, but
Yeah, in Baltimore, we're playing a festival that we're really excited for. They invited us back, and there's a cool lineup. So that I'm looking forward to that.
Super stoked for that.
The other stuff, I don't think.
Yeah, we might potentially play out west either way in the fall.
Okay.
So we're working on that very hard.
stay tuned, guys.
Yeah.
And then we're also getting back into Tokyo in April.
Oh, wait.
So we're going right back in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Well, we're looking forward to hearing more. I guess my last question for you guys, kind of a fun one, but do you guys have any like weird or kind of crazy places that you guys have gone to, or things that you've done to spark inspiration for your songs?
Too many.
Just, like anything.
Floor drop. Really
What's that?
There's a fly, sorry, I was swatting.
Oh, sorry.
Do you want to go?
Do I want to go?
Yeah, do you have a good one?
I don't know. When I like to write, I like to like Swarn for me is like dark purple with red, and it's like black silhouette and like ships and waves at night and lighthouse. Like so it's like a picture for me. So piecing together those kind of things is fun for me. I have these chairs I really like to write in. They're like these checkered chairs that those are helpful. Yeah, exactly. Dolly Parton in the dentist's office or whatever.
Yeah, I'd say that like physically, we've done a lot of weird things and laughed about it a lot. Like we've played some crazy shows. We've been in crazy situations where all you can do is just laugh and be like, "This is the funniest thing that's ever happened." I think that plays into our music world a little bit. Something I really appreciate about both of these two is they like to create very visual worlds to go along with the song. So Parker's a little more maybe abstract and direct about those ways. Like this feels like gravel. This sounds like a street lamp buzzing, like something like that. And then Mick will come along and say like, this song sounds like the movie Surf's Up. And then all of a sudden we play the song and it's so cohesive. Like we're playing it slightly differently. It's swung in a different way. That one is 1998 on the album. But but like we think to ourselves like this song has to sound like the movie Surf's Up, and then it all falls together. So it's fun to have people who think very visually and can like build a world around a song. I think that also comes into play with the album art. We built a world for all of the single covers and for the album art itself. So having like a visual, like this album should sound like adoring a friend, like being in a house party, sort of comes out in every aspect, I'd say.
Yeah, Lula put a lot of work in the album cover. It was like a whole shoot she set up with like we had all the junk from our rooms like out and taped up on the wall. Different kinds of film, different kinds of cameras. Like directing people like you two get up, like you sit down, you sit there, like laugh. And then it'd be like sit there, and then like all the album covers that were for the last album, the singles and the main, were all stuff that she took. did a really good job. Yes, doesn't hurt in this case.
What about you?
Yeah, I feel like the last album was like because it was called Adoring a Friend. I feel like we kind of came in with like the experience we've had of being in a band up until then is kind of how I like feel a lot about the album. Yeah, we've written songs. We started writing across some crazy spots. Like in Madison, we played the house show. We're like in this like basement. Um, there's like a guy juggling.
Oh my god, dude!
And this woman was singing Delta Dawn at us, like we're like trying to play to sing Delta Dawn, and like Colors was created from like that night. Like that's when like Colors was starting to get written, and I just think it like I feel like the energy of that night is like so encapsulated in that song. But yeah, I feel like we have ideas for stuff at like the most random times. I feel like when you've been we've been like playing a lot of shows around a lot of weird spots, and I think like when you're sitting in a green room that's like outside and it's pouring rain, or you're in like a dilapidated bathroom somewhere in like a dive bar, and you're like playing a show in like 15 minutes. Like, a lot of ideas come up. We talked about a lot of stuff, and like there's some songs coming up on the new album that are like the titles of them are all like right now are like inside jokes about like weird cartoons and like toys kind of, and like
You're talking like that's not going to be the name of the song.
yeah, I know. So there's just like on the next album, people are gonna be like, man, these titles are just so weird. Because like I feel like we're just getting weirder with like like naming stuff. And,
As
like,
you should.
So yeah, I feel like bits, like we bit a lot about songs, and then it eventually like makes it the song. So yeah.
That's true.
Awesome. Okay, and then just kind of our last question. If you had to save one pedal from your board, which would it be and why?
Wow. So much for asking. That's a really good question. I would say I have a small clone chorus pedal that is like the main tone for Fate You Choose. And yeah, I like that pedal a lot. It was gifted to me by someone after I graduated high school, and I've had it on my board since. It's just it's really warm, really lush, and yeah, I know it really well. So small clone chorus.
Okay. Perfect.
We will wrap up. We don't really have the best outro. We're just kind of going with it.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for joining us today. Anything?
Yeah, thank you guys for carving out time for us today.
It's storming outside.
It is
and
storming.
we're enjoying, so we appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Alrighty, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Great.
That was awesome.